What up, YouTube? Pinball is about to get lit again. It's your boys, Detroit Love, P-Dubs Arcade Love, Michael B. the Game Genie, and Restalgia with another episode of the Super Game Room Dudes Friday night. Just got live.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, good people of YouTube. Welcome to the Super Game Room Dudes. I'm joined tonight by my co-host, Detroit Love, and of course, the king of the edgelords, Restalgia. And we also have with us TiltBob Pinball, which we're going to tell you all about tonight. Very excited to have these guys on. Thank you again, Restalgia, for setting this up. And thank you so much, guys, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I like that intro, too. Very good. It reminds me of the 90s shows, like, you know, those back in the day.
Ooh, Curls? Yeah, Curls is awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. So, well, why don't we start with some introductions? So we've got
very quickly, housekeeping.
Yeah,
housekeeping.
Let's do it.
P-Dubs unfortunately will not be with us tonight. I know we're going to lose a lot of people when we say that because you usually tune in for him. Unfortunately, P-Dubs had a prior engagement at ZapCon and won't be here tonight. But stay tuned. You never know when he'll pop up. Usually he comes in about 45 minutes in, says the show's horrible, and we have to start again. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, Restalgia, get going, my man.
Yeah, so I want to thank you guys for coming on the stream. It's going to be really interesting to kind of hear more about TiltBob. Now, I want to do a little bit of an introduction for you guys. So Tampa Tech, you and I have a little bit of a history for a number of years. We've kind of done some work together, and then we've obviously chatted and been friends for quite a while.
Yeah.
So anyone who's not familiar, which I'm assuming most people are, we've got Tampa Tech, but to your right, actually it would be your left, I guess.
All right.
To your right. So that's Bob right there, correct?
That is
Awesome.
I am Bob.
Okay, so the two of you make up part of the team of TiltBob. Now, I think, Tampa Tech, you mentioned there's some other people involved in the project, but with your words, why don't you tell us a little bit about TiltBob Pinball and what it is that you guys are planning or doing? And, I'll go ahead and hand it off to you.
All right. So do I sound good in the mic?
Yeah, you sound great.
You sound horrible from here.
Well, that's on you. All right. So basically, I met Bob at a pinball tournament last year, and he brought his Elf pinball machine that he made. It's a homebrew pinball machine that he made on his own. Well, with his daughter, she was a digital artist, and he brought that over to the Little Shop of Games where we were playing the pinball.
Little Shop of Games.
That's it, actually, right there. And so I was playing the Elf pinball machine. Well, there it is right there. So I was playing that pinball machine, and I thought it was fascinating. I was like, I've never seen this before. I'm like, who makes this? Is it like Stern or Jersey Jack? He's like, I make it. I'm like, what? I'm like, you made this by yourself? I was like, that's like amazing because I had like an LCD screen in the play field. I had 4 flippers. I had like so much like cool stuff going on. I was like as a technician, like I fix things, I mod things. I'm very hands-on when it comes to like, you know, electronics. And so I thought it was fascinating that someone, you know, on their own, basically, well, with a little bit of help, actually made something like this. And so I was like really impressed. And so I asked him, I was like, what are you doing after this? He's like, oh, I'm gonna make an all homebrew. I'm like, why not just start something? And he's like, oh, well, yeah, that would be my dream to do it. And so when he went to Texas, he actually won homebrew, like
the Twipsy Award.
Yeah, best homebrew design of the year in Texas Pinball Festival for 2022. And yeah, so he won this Elf pinball machine and won an award. And so I was like, dude, this is like a calling for you to like, you know, start something bigger. And so we started a company called TiltBob. I thought it was like kind of fitting, right? TiltBob.
Yeah, you're the
His
one who
name's
came
Bob.
up with it. He came up with the name. So, and
just kind of like,
so I gotta give you credit for that.
Bob, can I ask you a question? Is your last
Yep.
name Tilt? Is it Bob Tilt?
No.
Tilt Bob.
No.
so I just thought it was kind of like, you know, I don't know, fitting. So anyway, So we started coming with some ideas. He already had a design laid out for the homebrew, which the homebrew turned into original theme. And we always, me and him are in agreement when it comes to pinball machines. We think that 90s, Williams Valley 90s were the best of the best pinball machines ever. Monster Bash, Medieval Madness, Attack from Mars, Whitewater, all those. We wanted to do something that brings back, physical ball locks, no virtual ball locks, no virtual kickbacks. We wanted to more mechanics involved.
And it has to be funny. It just
Comedy.
has to be a comedy theme. That's just
that's our favorites.
That's our favorite. Yeah, everybody likes a sci-fi game, but I just we'll probably just think that we want to bring back comedy.
Yeah. So, do you want to hear some of the features?
Yeah, absolutely. Lay it on us.
Well, hold on.
All
What do
right,
we get? We're talking features of the machine you guys are working on, or of the elf machine?
So this is for the new game that's coming out.
Well, let's show the game a little bit. We got some pictures and videos, so let's familiarize people with it first.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess what do we got, Mike? You got some assets that you can just pull up?
Yeah,
okay,
I got
cool.
some assets that I can pull up. Just one second, guys.
Yeah, so while you're working on that, the machine that you guys either have it in alpha or in beta stage. You guys are developing it. You guys are doing all the work on. That you guys have labeled that one as called Road Trip. Is that correct?
Correct.
And
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we have two full machines. We have two. You could call them betas or prototypes. Or we have two machines that are fully running, and we wanted to get them up as soon as we can, obviously, to work out the little kinks and bugs. And we're actually on the third revision of it, and we believe we were at the final one. Matter of fact, next week our playfields will be manufactured. We actually manufacture them, but they will be done next week, and that should be the third time is a charm. We'd build different ones. We'd put them on there. We'd test them. We'd play the crap out of them and find out, this could be a little bit better. And we tweak things, start drilling holes in a really nice looking play field. And and now we're down to where we really like it. It just shoots really smooth. So,
okay. So what we've got kind of showed. This was actually shared with us. So Tampa Tech, thank you for sharing. This would be an exclusive look at the playfield.
That's the first revision. That's our first one. So
okay,
it changed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's you'll see it's drastic from that one.
It's better.
All right.
Okay.
So that was what we started at right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, well, actually, Mike, keep that up because I'm going to ask you some questions about this. Now, I don't know anything about designing a pinball machine. I really don't know that much about pinball other than, I know how to play a couple games and have some fun.
It's a good thing he's a pinball influencer now.
That's
pretty much it. There's revision 2.
So this is revision 2. Now, what exactly goes into designing a pinball table? When it comes to the playability, setting up the rules, what exactly do you guys have to keep in mind when you guys are beginning to create these sort of play fields and I guess the features that are going to be built into them?
That's a really good question. I think people do it different, and I do it a little. I think I do it backwards than what most people do. I actually wind up designing a play field and designing how I like it to shoot, and then I'll work the theme into it. Rather than I believe a lot of people will just design out what it's going to look like with the theme and stuff like that. So I'll really work on mechanics and a lot of different stuff. And then hopefully it'll work into the theme. A lot of the stuff won't. So we'll wind up having to yank it out. Things like that. Excuse me. But it took about a year on just trying so many different things. Things work, things don't work. I got a huge box of parts that we no longer use. So it's a lot of testing.
Is there an initial sketch phase where you've got to draw everything out and you're like, okay, I think this is going to work, and then you make a prototype, realize it doesn't work, and go back to the drawing board? Or is this more of you kind of build it with what you think will work, and it's a trial and error, and then you just modify
So a lot of people start out that way. They'll design something in CAD. Sometimes they'll use some of the virtual software out there to design it, and then they'll try to port it over. I do it a little bit different. I take a board, and I put a board out, and it can be a foam board, a wood board, and I just start with pieces of foam, cardboard, sheet metal, and I just start physically doing it. And I test different things I think will work and not work. If I think they're going to work, then they get transferred over into the CAD. Now, obviously, everything on a machine is, from the play fields, which is all cut out by CNC, which we actually do all that. And all the sheet metal is all, done professionally. And so all the parts fit perfect. So you'll wind up designing the same piece about 4 or 5 times until you get it right. So like I was saying, I do a little bit, I think I do it backwards, but I think that's what makes it unique. I come from, when I built Elf, I really had that much background in pinball. I owned one old EM machine, and I owned the Ninja Turtle, the Data East Ninja Turtle. But I didn't have concept of Stearns and Jersey Jack and all that in my head. But I think that also helped me, because as I was designing it, I wasn't like, oh, this machine has this, that machine has that. It just literally just came out of my head as in like what I thought shots would be fun. So now that I've played just about every machine out there made, that can actually hinder me, I believe, because I got to make sure I'm not like copying somebody. I still want to be original. And so it's kind of a back and forth on that.
The impression I get is it's almost impossible not to take inspiration from something in pinball
Correct.
some way. Of course, you can add your own twist to it, but it's like the episode of South Park where they talk about how everything's been done on The Simpsons. There's been so much done in pinball. It's almost impossible. Even if you come up with your own design, somebody's probably already done something like that.
It's been out for 100 years.
Right.
That's right.
And
And
so,
I
Bob,
can tell you,
I got a question.
There's a couple things in Elf.
Carl has a question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So I'm just curious. Most pinballs, the element is a storyline. Like, so what's the storyline of say?
That's a good question.
You want to answer it?
The road trip.
So that's actually a really good question. So, like he said, because of like the design of the pinball machine had a lot of paths and a lot of like different like twists and turns and everything else, and there's a lot of diverters and stuff like that going on. So I don't want to give away too much, but it's kind of the theme kind of was fitting for a theme called Road Trip, which he and his wife came up with. And so Road Trip was the overall theme, and it's a comedy theme of Road Trip where
kind of brings back some of the memories, things like you would think of when you were younger, road trips.
Yeah.
Obviously, are we there yet? And, all the stupid crap that might happen, things like that.
So you talk about in the playfield in screen? Or do you
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or do you want to talk about GPS unit?
Oh, no. No, you can tell. We're trying not to give away too many secrets. But I think...
What to say about the
My God.
Let's go ahead. All right, we're going to be vague about it. All right, we're going to be vague.
There's so many things in it that
there's a lot of this thing is going. I personally think that this is going to be up there with Whitewater, Monster Bash, Medieval Madness, Attack from Mars. I personally think that this original pin is going to be on that list of 90s that
The
90s
all-time
classic.
greats.
One of the greats in its original theme that not everyone usually goes to the safe path, which I get, because if you make if you have a great asset like AC/DC or Guns N' Roses, you're gonna have that crowd be interested in your pinball machine. So not only that you got people interested in pinball, you got also people that love Guns N' Roses interested to buy your stuff. So that's you got that crowd. I personally think my favorite list of pinball machines are original theme pinball machines. And to have that, you don't have to share your profits for one. And for 2, if you want to make a digital pinball table, you get all, you know what I mean? You don't have to go back to like AC/DC or Guns N' Roses and be like, oh, can I use your, you know what I mean? Like we own it. Like, you know, we own that. And so I'll tell you really, all right. So I'm going to give you something exclusive that no one knows about in public. And so that screen, the LCD screen that you see inside the playfield, that is a big part of the whole theme. That is a GPS unit telling you where to go, where to make a left, make a right. And the GPS has a personality. Now, I'm not going to say anything else. That's it. I'm going to be vague about it. But that that screen inside, you're basically driving a car, right? Road trip. You're playing a pinball machine, but you're kind of like, the theme is, the illusion is you're driving a car and you're doing a road trip yourself, and that you're interacting with the GPS, which is inside the playfield, and it's telling you to make a left, make a right, and it's gonna be funny. All right.
Probably kind of a little bit of inspiration that came for it, but we're trying not to copy it. Is so the second movie, Vacation, with Ed Helms in it. You remember that one? He's got the blue car that both sides look like the front of the car.
Yep.
Yeah, and the GPS that yells at him in Japanese, So yeah, kind of funny like that. But it's not theirs. Obviously, it's original.
Yeah.
But that's kind of inspiration. I love that part of that movie. It was great.
Can you really have a road trip without slug bug?
What's slug bug?
Oh, there's
you gotta punch. You gotta punch your road mate in the arm every time you see a bug.
We have a surprise for you.
Okay.
There's a surprise, so you won't be disappointed on that.
Awesome.
Yes. If our other guy Joe was here, we would have to make him kind of be quiet about that, because he's been working on something with slug bugs.
So I was watching this earlier. I got to get out of this here now, but and get back into it because it went to another video. But I got to say, I was actually really impressed with the shots. Like, I didn't know what to think of it. Restalgia sent this along, and I was like, do you have any assets, anything you can share? Yeah, so this was the gameplay that came up earlier, and I was looking at the shot selections, and a lot of this is fun. Like, a lot of the things you said are so true when it comes to pinball. Like, pinball nowadays is kind of lazy. I mean, like, they make really, really cool tables, but it's not really about the tables anymore so much as the themes. It misses that from the 90s, where you could have an okay original theme, but if the table wasn't like spectacular play wise, it wouldn't get anywhere. You guys are really banking on what the playability is going to be like here, and you can see it from the shot selection. Like, I love this capture. Well, it doesn't really capture, but the ball has to come around there, and then you either hit it up the ramp or you hit it up there. I think that's an awesome shot. So I see a lot of cool stuff here. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I have a bad habit interrupting people.
I do too, so don't worry about it.
That top right, it's going to blow you away when that top secret comes down. We can't show
top
that.
secret, yeah.
We can't show that because I've had stuff stolen in the past, and I don't want it stolen before it comes out. So
yeah,
I've had a couple things stolen off of Elf that are in production today, but I don't point fingers at people.
I was gonna ask about that because I saw the screen in the middle of the playfield, and it's so reminiscent of what Keith Elwin did with James Bond 60th anniversary, and I was like, that's the first time I ever saw that was in your Elf game. So did they take inspiration there?
Yeah, there's also I won't go any farther. There's also something in Jaws that that looks very familiar, but
it might have been inspired.
But we won't go there because it's not fair.
I've made a couple jokes about the Jaws table because the Jaws table is also very similar. The Jaws Stern table is also very similar to the Pinball FX3 Jaws table as well. So people in my chat were joking, calling him Thief Elwin.
That pop-up target that goes like that. That was in Pinball FX3. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But, and one of the things I was going to mention is, going back to what you guys were saying, is there's two ways to build a machine. You either have a really badass theme, and then you can build a crappy table, and people are still going to buy it, right? You build a Back to the Future, and people are going to buy it no matter what. You go original theme, you really have to make the game play good, make it fun, to make people actually enjoy it. Because you have those two different types of players. You have tournament players, and then you have your people that want to buy it for their house, right? So this might not be towards your tournament player, but same time, when they start playing it, then I think they're going to like it. But some of those hardcore pinball guys, it's like, oh, I'll only buy a licensed theme. That's great. Everybody. I don't have any problem with that. But once you play it, it's going to be different. So we really have to spend a lot of time on just making it a fun game. One of the other things you don't see is the back box is a full display. It's got a 27-inch monitor. Yes, Jersey Jack has the same thing, but I also have it in ELF, so it's similar to what we have in ELF. I love screens in it, and then of course the screen in the play field, because when I'm playing, I don't look at the back screen. Who does? So that the screen on the play field is going to help to tell you what to do. That's why I like putting those in there. But there's a lot going on, for the back box. It's got to be entertaining for everybody standing around watching you play the game. So that's the whole thing about that. The other interesting thing is, so all the gameplay on the screen in the back, it's all dynamic. It's a game engine. We're using a game engine, so it's not static images. It's not animations. So it's all tied into all the targets of the game. So, if you hit a target, if you hit a certain target, things will happen on it instantly, just like a video game. You hit a key. So it's all tied into that. It's running a full-on game engine in it.
Yeah. So we basically, we're just, we want to want for this pinball machine for everyone. And we think comedy has something to do with everyone. And the original theme is, like, when it comes to like the best pinball machines, we think of like the 90s Williams Bally, the Super Pins. Remember the Super Pins where they had those wide body pinball machines? This pinball machine, Road Trip, is a wide body pinball machine. It's going to be powder coated. It's going to be like, we're selling it, and it's going to look like an LE. It's going to look like gorgeous. Like whether you put it in your living room or dining room, living room, den, I don't know where you put it, but it's going to look really pretty.
So are you saying it's going to be bigger than Hercules?
No, that would be ridiculously huge. That is, every Hercules I've seen is broken.
Well,
Yeah.
Hercules is fun. I used to the Banning Pinball Museum out in California, which they auctioned off a couple of years ago, was sad. I used to go to that twice a year.
Yeah.
But Hercules, you'd play for about 5 minutes and you'd be done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was still great.
I personally think, like, when it comes to like the best pinball designers, I think Steve Ritchie's number one, and then for number two, I have actually two Keith Elwin pinball machines in my garage. It's Godzilla Pro. I just think the Godzilla Pro has more ball flow, and then also
All right, get him out of here. Oh, you're wrong. Premium
and I
robust.
got the Avengers Premium. A lot of people hate on Avengers Premium, but once I upgraded the flipper coils on the bottom flippers and I adjusted the Captain Marvel inverted ramp, it is, I'm telling you, it's like one of the best pinball machines.
We traded for a while and I played it and I got bored with it.
Yeah.
I own one Stern pinball machine. I have Deadpool.
Deadpool's great. George
Still
Gomez.
love it. Still love
Gomez
it.
is a great pinball designer. And I have also the Star Trek Pro from Steve Ritchie.
Yeah.
And so I met Steve Ritchie. He's a great guy. He's very nice. And I never met Keith Elwin, but I actually got my Stern Star Trek pinball machine signed by Steve Ritchie, which is really cool. And he's a great guy.
Very cool. Which version of Deadpool do you have? Pro, I hear, is usually the one to go for with Deadpool.
Yeah, I have the Pro. I probably played it for a year before I finally played a Premium, and I really didn't see a difference. You just have that one extra ramp on the right, and that was it. For $3,000, I just don't see it.
Yeah, it's only been the more recent Sterns that there's like huge differences. I mean, parts of the game that are missing. Like with Godzilla, I know what you're saying, Paul. A lot of people like the ball flow with the Pro better, but for me, when I was going to get it, like there were certain elements like the breaking bridge, the actual building mech. There were certain things that just made the game play differently, and
Oh,
I
you
wanted
have
the
a
premium.
premium?
Yeah, I got a premium Godzilla.
Oh, it's also good. I'm not talking shit about the premium.
I felt like you were talking shit. I'm not gonna lie.
It just slows up. It slows up the gameplay. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, Michael
So-
needs it to be a little slower for him to be good.
Yeah, I still don't know how to nudge. I'm getting close to 1 billion points finally, but I still don't know how to nudge. It's weird.
I beat the game.
You still yell at me for doing death saves or whatever you call them.
Oh yeah. I did. I was trying to teach him a death save. You know what that is?
Yeah. When it's going down the lane and you
He
pop
knocks
it back
the
into the
crap out of
game.
the machine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just.
Beats the shit out of your machine, basically.
So Michael, you said you're not good at nudging, so that means that you experience the TiltBob quite often.
No, I don't tilt very often. So guys, these machines coming out. When do you think we're going to get a look at one in action? Like you brought Elf to Texas Pinball. When do you think you're going to have a working model, playable model that you can show to the public?
So, yeah, we have a plan already. It will be this year.
Okay.
It'll be the later part of the year. We
Like
are
around
show-
October?
We are showing up to a certain show and making a very large appearance. And bringing quite a few machines. So,
Will it be on the south side of Chicago in the meanest part of town?
I don't know where Chicago is. No.
He's actually. Weren't you born there?
So the interesting thing is, I like to say I was born with pinball in my blood. I was born in Elk Grove, Illinois, which is where all the not just Stern, but you go all the way back to Game Plan and all those companies back in the early 70s. They were all in Elk Grove. Yep. Going back to my roots.
Well, I know right now the plan is Restalgia is kind of screwing it up because he's the worst, but we're looking at going to the Pinball Expo in October, a bunch of us from the home arcade space. So that's our plan right now. Restalgia's supposed to be there as well. So
that's cool.
If you guys were going, that would be cool as well. So that would tie up nicely so we could check it out.
Well, it just may be, we'll have to see. This is the 40th anniversary this year, and Rob Burke he's spending the whole.
You met him, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I know Rob. Rob.
He runs the show.
Rob has tried to buy Elf off me multiple times. But he's like literally since the show ended last year, he's been working on it all year. I think they have 100,000 feet or something over there, so it's a pretty big show to fill. So it'll be fun.
Okay.
One way or the other, I'll be there.
Can I say hi to a couple people?
Yeah, absolutely, Paul.
Yeah,
Go nuts.
Bill, Retro Gaming Show. What's up? And then also John from Wagner's Tech Talk. I saw him in the chat earlier, but I don't know if he's still on.
Yeah, Wagner should be here if he left. I know him and his wife usually watch the show on Fridays. And that's why his wife now calls him an Oompa Loompa. So,
that's awesome. He said, "Is that just now? That's awesome."
No, I think that was earlier.
That was a little while ago.
Oh, that was earlier. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, Bob, you mentioned earlier. You said you had 2 tables that you were. That's kind of.
So
ready.
we have two machines that we've been testing on.
Okay.
Right. And we've done a lot of testing, a lot of different stuff. We're actually at the phase now where we're starting to beat the crap out of everything to make sure it works.
Yeah.
So Elf has over 4,000 plays on it for multiple shows, and I have broke nothing in that machine. I have one little chip in the playfield, in the clear. That's it. And so that was really encouraging for me that. I must be designing something right. So yeah, we have those going up, testing different things, testing different the main circuit boards. I have one machine that has P3 boards in it, one that has the fast pinball system in it. So So we've been testing those.
So, Killer Penguins, Paul wants to say hello. He wrote it in the private chat, so you never see it. So I thought I'd bring it up.
Oh, I thought that was like.
No, that's
I can't
the
text.
private chat. I was like, yeah, okay, thanks, Paul.
Oh, I guess.
What are you typing in there?
No, that's my friend.
Oh,
So
your friend?
there's
Yeah,
there's
Killer
two
Penguin.
there's
My
two
old
chats. There's two chats. We have a private chat in case we need to talk to each other for the show, and there's also this one here. So, guys, a couple things people want to know. One of the big conversation points when it comes to pinball, we just talked about it: Pro, Premium, LE. Have you guys thought about that yet? Is this going to be a one-tier system, or are you going to have multiple tiers? What are you looking to offer? What's your mindset on the? I don't know if you can get the price point yet, but something along those lines.
Yes. So what we've done, we just have a single machine. So being a small company, it's hard to make 3 sets of graphics and everything for 3 machines. Plus, we just decided to go all out on it. This, I wouldn't classify.
The first one.
If I wouldn't classify it, as a pro or premium or something like that, but the amount of stuff that's in this, you could compare it to an LE.
Yeah.
Because of the amount, this machine has over 35, I think close to 40 coils in it. If you look on the bottom of this machine, it's absolutely packed. You don't see any wood on the bottom of the thing. It's so packed with stuff. It's running a full-blown game engine in it. Obviously for the software, and everything's powder coated. Has the glare-free glass on it. We've gone all out on everything.
Oh, show the powder coating, Mike.
I don't know if I've got a thing there.
The gameplay, you can see the powder coating in the gameplay.
Oh, I think you could see that one might have had the one of the aprons.
Is it this one here, Paul?
Yeah, the apron and the wire form.
Yeah.
The wire form is powder coated red, and then the apron is kind of like a bluish teal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That apron is actually the old design, but the new apron coming out, it's actually cool. You can the cutouts are on that. You can actually see this, the writing on the playfield on it. But yeah, everything's powder coated. I like powder coated machines. You go to shows and you walk down and everything's stainless steel. Yeah, it looks great, but you walk, at least for me, you walk up and you see a machine. Jersey Jack does it, and everything's powder coated, and it's like, wow, that looks nice.
Yeah, people don't think it chips. It does not chip. Like, we played the heck out of it, and on his Elf, your Elf,
4,000 plays. Elf doesn't have a single chip in the powder coating. And on Elf, I did the powder coating myself. There's just the right way and wrong way of doing it, and if it's done right, then it'll hold up.
So, any idea?
Mike, let me jump in here. Actually, while we're talking about production and things like that, is this machine going to be one of those machines where you guys have like a certain number of units that you guys are going to produce, and that's going to be that? You guys will say there's a maximum number. Once we sell through that, we're not doing any more of these. We're moving on to the next project.
Right.
Or is this something that you guys are going to say, we're just going to take orders as they come. We're going to do X number for a production unit. If they're selling well, we'll keep doing additional production units.
Right.
What are you guys looking to do as
so the way I want to do it is I want to cap it at a number for a couple reasons. If you cap it at a number, and I don't know what the number is going to be. We don't know yet. It could be 100, 200, 300. We're not sure. And the thing about it is if we don't, if I don't sell 300 machines, then I know I'm doing something wrong, or figure out what, move on to the next one.
We're gonna sell more than 300, I think.
But if I only did 300 and we sold those 300 right out, the value of that machine is going to go up, and the person buying the machine, the value is going to be there. Unlike some companies today that are flooding the market and then just killing the resale value on premiums and stuff. Which is, kind of,
I personally think the demand is going to force him into going higher. I personally think.
Well, see, that's a razor's edge right there, because if you guarantee there's only going to be 300 and then the demand comes back, you can't go back on that. You can't make more.
Can't go back on it.
You got to make your mind up. Are we going to have a limited number or are we not?
And
Yeah.
if we you know, if I do a cap on it, which is where we're pretty firm on it, and you know, not going to come back in 2 years and go, oh well, we come out with the, you know, the 3-year, you know, edition, 3-year black and white edition or something like that. You know, not going to do that. That'll be it. Plus, we do have a couple other things in the
next lineup.
in the backlog, and
Ooh,
we're
more in the
excited. We're
pipeline.
excited to get to. Yeah.
That's wild. I mean, you haven't even released your first cable yet. You're already
Yeah.
seemingly planning and working on
He's
the
a
next
creative
one as well.
dude.
Yeah.
We're pretty excited about the second one, but we're staying focused on this. So, you know, it's just you know, we'll see how we do this year. Yeah. You know, I believe we're going to do really well.
And if you
Yeah.
do well, you could do a sequel, right? Road Trip 2.
Oh, maybe. I always wanted a, you know, Whitewater 2, or I heard there was a Whitewater 2 coming out, and then someone, like, you know, some people kind of like, it was a rumor to like Medieval Madness Part 2 when Brian Eddy moved from Williams and then he came over to Stern, and there was like a possibility of Medieval Madness 2. It's been like, what, 24 years later? Nope.
Yeah, I don't know if there's I don't even know how they would do it. I don't know who owns the rights to the old Williams tables now to actually
I think Zen Studios.
Somebody does. I don't know who.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Zen. I know Zen can produce the digital versions, but I don't know. I don't know who. Like right now, you've got companies that are doing remakes, like Chicago Gaming Company, and there's another company just won the rights. They're going to start making remakes of Williams tables. I don't know who gives the rights, so I don't know who Stern and Brian Eddy would have to work with in order to license to do a Medieval Madness 2. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I would buy it. I mean, I love Medieval Madness. That's like on my top 10 list.
But are sequels ever as good as the originals? I mean, come on. Do you really?
I don't think so.
Medieval Madness is incredible. I mean,
have they ever made? No, yeah, they make sequels.
Getaway,
All right, so
Getaway, High Speed 2.
Why the Pinball?
I still
Jackpot.
I still like the original Monster Bash better.
Yeah.
Original Monster Bash?
Yeah.
There's only one.
No. The
Yeah, the Chicago Gaming Company did a remake. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a remake. That's not part 2 though.
No, the remake. I like the original one.
Oh, okay.
I go back to they made
the
Alien.
90s. Yeah.
They made Alien twice. The original Alien, which breaks down every 5 minutes, but it's a great machine.
I don't know. I played one. It didn't break. I was playing one in Floor Brewery and didn't break. It was all right. It was like, yeah, it was playing good. I like the Alien one. It was cool because the mouth opens and then the little tongue comes out and eats the ball, and that has a magnet on it and it sucks the ball in. That's like awesome mech. We love mechs, by the way, and like that, like top secret, you know, that logo that we put on there, and there's gonna be some cool mechs. We're gonna talk about some of the features. You want to hear the features?
Yeah, throw the notes up on screen. Let's do it.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you because you can't really read that.
just show us the paper, and then that's
all right,
it.
Paul.
Just
lay it out.
I think it said smile.
Let's go ahead and put something else on screen too for Mike.
And there it is. All right, so yeah. So behind those two logos, one says subscribe. By the way, subscribe to TiltBob Pinball if you want to know the latest and greatest about all the sneak peeks, and we're gonna release more footages and like, you know, all that stuff. So subscribe and hit that bell to be notified.
We've just, we've got the link in the description, so if anyone wants to.
The link was wrong in the description, by the way.
It was wrong. No, I just added it. Did I put it in wrong?
Apparently, Jason put it up earlier that the link in the description was wrong. So,
it is.
If it was wrong, you did.
I'll fix it. I'll fix it.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
You go ahead.
We're ready. Go.
Okay, cool.
It's all you.
All right, so it's called obviously Road Trip, and it's original theme. It's a comedy theme. It has 4 flippers, 2 flippers on the left, 2 flippers on the right, and then it has 3 mech ball locks. No virtual ball locks, which we don't like. It has a classic 90s kickback on the left drain lane. So if you drain the ball on the left side, it has a kickback that you can activate by, I think, hitting drop targets maybe.
Yep.
And then it has 4 pop bumpers, and there's something unique about the pop bumpers, which we're not going to disclose yet. So that's why you have to subscribe and hit that bell notification, because we're going to release that footage later on. but the pop bumpers are very unique, unlike any other. It's a very innovative thing. Never before in pinball history has this been done. And then we also got a custom scoop. It's a pop-up scoop inspired by Theater of Magic. I don't know if you guys ever played that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you know the pop-up scoop in Theater Magic?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna get the video up for you guys here now. It's the
love that
7-second one.
Yeah. And then so it has obviously 2 ramps that you see in the video. And
two return ramps.
yeah, one's a they're both loop ramps, by the way. So those ramps are loop ramps, which we love. We love loop ramps and repeating shots. We love combo shots. And these ramps are powder coated, by the way, to look like a road. And then also we have, should we say that? We have a bash toy. The bash toy is very unique, unlike any bash toy ever in pinball history. This is a very unique bash toy. How he designed it is very.
It's fun.
It's cool. You're gonna like the bash toy. And all right, so it has 2 additional toys we're not gonna mention. And you want to say the rest?
Oh yeah, that's fine. So obviously the piece in the back, our secret sauce, we're not going to talk about that, but there's quite a bit to that.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, and there's multiple other devices they can't talk about. Like I said before, it has over 35 coils in the game. 6-ball game, obviously. It has 2 3-bank drop targets, one on each side. That's actually a hole right there for it, and it has 4 additional drop targets. 3 are original. They're different. They're not just your standard little plastic pop up, pop down. They're actually very large. You might have seen them in there. They're cows,
Yeah.
and they're quite big.
Yeah.
And like I say, when you're, there you go.
Yeah,
So they come out of there. Those holes are actually cut really big right now because, like I said, this is a prototype. Actually, this one wasn't even clear coated. We just did something on this one, so it's not that shiny.
The Clown Motel. That's cool that you included that because I feel like I go to the Clown Motel every time Steve and Restalgia talks.
So that's actually a real place. There is a real place. We were trying to come up with a lot of fun stuff that actually are on road trips. But we didn't want to copy them. It's like I wanted to put Cadillac Ranch in there. There's a Flamingo Hotel, but certain things.
So these are actually landmarks that. If you cross the country, do a road trip, these are actual real landmarks that you run across.
But a lot of that stuff is going to be put in the software, and at the same time is, we can update and change them and stuff like that. And, one thing about this machine, which is going to be really nice, is software updates are going to be really easy. You don't have to put a dongle in there. They're just going to update off the internet. Later on, there's a mobile app coming for it, so you can adjust all the settings, not just off your phone because it's too small, but it acts as a controller. But at the same time, you can use it and you can put everything on the back screen, use a controller. So we don't know if we'll have that out when we reveal it, but so it's kind of cool little mechanism. There's a lot of little stuff like that are just kind of little extra bells and whistles that will be coming with it.
So guys, really quickly, I spy with my naked eye here that this area that houses the pop bumper seems to be cut out. What's the deal with that? Or is that not something you can't talk about right yet?
That's the secret.
It doesn't look cut out to me. It's stationary. It's stuck on there, isn't it?
All right.
And guys, I got a quick question. I didn't hear any mention of multi-ball. Are there any multi-ball function here?
No, Carol, it's the only pinball machine created without multi-ball in the last 30 years.
So, like we said earlier, there's 3 mechanical ball locks in it. So that obviously can give them multiple combinations of multi-balls. Doing the multi-balls is mainly in the code and making them fun. But we
mentioned the bullets.
But we have different. We can program different multi-balls in it, and but we have 2 or 3 of them right now. How many are we going to have total?
Should we say it? Like, oh, well, we already seen the video. I think you guys kind of like got a gist of it in the video. So the pop-up scoop, that's going to be 1 ball lock, and that's going to be a 2-ball multi-ball. So you lock the ball in that scoop, and the scoop drops down under the playfield. That's one, that's a ball lock right there, and then it's going to be a 2-ball multi-ball kind of thing.
Okay.
And so there's another ball lock that we have, and that's going to be on the wire form. And then, do we want to mention?
No, we'll just give those two.
We'll give those two, and the
Those two.
third ball lock we're not going to mention until later on. That's why you have to subscribe and to TiltBob Pinball.
So it gives a combination, a lot of them. At the same time, we feel that you have to work for a multi-ball. Who likes to start a game and 20 seconds later you got multi-ball, right? It's fun the first time you play it, but you got to work for it. So.
Yeah. So not to be confused, Road Trip is original theme, and it's not based off of the movie Road Trip.
Yeah.
So I just want to get that out there.
Yeah. So interesting is after I named this, I did find out that there was a 80s movie called Road Trip.
Yeah.
And it's about a bunch of frat guys going on a road trip, and your typical 80s cheesy type movie. I've never seen it. I'll have to watch it now.
There's also I don't remember if it's late 90s, early 2000s road trip movie too with
there's
Tom
another
Green
one,
in it.
right?
Yeah. It's got like Tom Green and
Okay.
yeah.
I got it. All right.
That's probably why I didn't see it.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like Tom Green? Oh man,
You don't like Tom
I was
Green?
going to put him in touch with you as an investor.
He has money.
Nah, just joking.
Yeah.
Now, if
All
it's
right,
Pauly
guys.
Shore, then I'd say no.
Pauly Shore. What about who's the other guy? Carrot Top.
No, he's funny.
Yeah, Carrot
He's
Top's funny.
Yeah.
Yes, MG remembers. They go to Austin, Massachusetts.
Do you have any other
He
questions?
remembers road trip.
Yeah. Let me throw another question in the mix here. So we talk a lot and we focus on the home arcade space quite a bit. We also talk about pinball on the show from time to time when there's something interesting. You guys are obviously going the commercial mechanical route. But I'm curious to know, have you guys ever considered, alongside this, doing a digital version? Since it is completely original, you guys have full control of it. You guys are going to be doing this, like the actual gameplay mechanics sounds like it's going to be done on an actual engine in terms of the programming. Have you considered doing a digital option for those who maybe don't see themselves being able to even purchase a mechanical machine or something like that?
He's already all over it. He bugs me about it every week.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think, Paul, there's this company that you should really check out called At Games. They make this digital pinball product.
It's right behind you.
Well, yeah, I'm curious to know, is that something that's potentially on the roadmap for those who perhaps can invest in a pinball machine but still want to play around with it?
I think that would promote sales for sure, because I bought Stern, Star Trek Pro pinball machine because I played it on my phone, and I downloaded it and I bought it virtually, and I loved it so much on the virtual table. I'm like, I have to own the real thing. So that was a big influence on me buying that machine. I actually, the machine's $6,000. So you want to play it first and experience all the, you could buy 100 virtual pinball machines. It's not going to break the bank. You know what I mean? And then you get the idea, which one do you really want to invest in as a real pinball machine? I think that's the best way to shop.
Well, I don't know about that, Paul. I bought about 100 tables during National Owners Day last week, and it really felt like it broke the bank to me. I think there's a misconception. I know Stern has said they don't want their IPs and machines doing virtual anymore for whatever reason, but I don't know if they think that it'll dilute sales or dilute play of the real tables. I think it's farther.
Also be licensing.
Yeah, it could be licensing, but I think that's farthest from the truth.
You got to. I mean, the VPX,
it's going to happen in VPX anyways.
They're going to take it. They're going to if you don't sell it as a virtual table, VPX, someone that loves Road Trip or someone's going to love that design, they're going to take that idea, and you're not going to make money off of that VPX table. So I personally think it's best, it's a wise business decision to make a digital virtual table and sell it, because VPX is going to do it anyway.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I've noticed that with a lot of the indie developers that just do VPX or Future Pinball or any of those sort of engines, not all of them, but generally there's a rule of thumb saying if this is something that's currently in production, we're just going to let it go through its normal product life cycle until it's no longer in production, and then that's typically when they convert it. So if you kind of get ahead of that and you do a digital option, you're kind of you're giving people the option to be able to just get an original digital version from you guys, which in theory should be the best version of that table, right? So it could be a good opportunity. I'm sure there's going to be a lot
Pinball's
of people who
for
are
everyone.
interested, but
I think pinball's for everyone, not just the rich.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
not
that's a
rich.
good
Well, you're
that's
richer
a good
than me.
segue into my next question is, do you guys have a ballpark of cost for what this
Wanna give
thing
him a
would be?
ballpark?
Yeah, so I knew that one was coming up. So
That's a tough answer.
it is, you know,
and we'll hold you to this to the cent.
Oh,
so
yeah,
make sure
yeah,
you
yeah.
get
Yeah,
it right.
like you can't change your mind. Like once this is
Yeah.
it's etched in stone.
That's
You
now.
the
gotta have
whole
a
thing
big
about it.
ballpark.
So I mean, of course, you know,
Give them a big
of course I'm gonna come out and say, you know, we don't have a price range yet, but it is, you know, the God honest truth, because we're still working on our BOM right now. Being a small company, you know, my BOM is over double with Stern. You
Yeah.
know, Stern, don't take me, but I'm guessing, you know, their BOM is probably $3,000 on a machine, right?
He said
Yeah, there
1
you
to
go,
20.
1 to 20.
Well, the virtual
Look in
table.
there.
If you're including the virtual table, that's
So what I can say is, it's not, it'll be above a Stern Pro, but it's not going to be an Elton John. So
Oh my God, no.
That's a
Yeah,
very expensive machine.
we're still working on it. We're working with our suppliers. You know, it just, you know, obviously
that's a good answer.
the more you make, the better you can get your BOM down.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
It's more money than a Stern Pro and less than Elton John.
Yeah, so that's a good answer, and realistically, you're just not there yet. You can't provide that answer. You've got to take a look at what your costs are by the time you're actually done. Plus, you got to look at what your product pricing strategy is going to be compared to the competition. So that's fair. I think
Plus I have to pay him. No.
and Paul doesn't come cheap from what I hear.
I'm working for free. I don't know what he's talking about.
I did have a couple questions for you. So you're coming into a market that's grown a lot in the last couple of years. A lot of new companies have popped up. We just saw Barrels of Fun come out of nowhere. So there was another company that came up last year that did this like ninja themed pinball, and their big competitive advantage, they think, is they're moving away from a coin door, and they've got this whole new system where they take like credits or something like that. What do you see as your competitive advantage? What's going to differentiate you from the other companies as you come into this space?
So, you know, back up just a sec to answer your question about so the other company, which is Turner, that you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, people like it. People didn't like it. I think people like traditional machines.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people want a coin door, even though they don't don't use it. It's traditional. You put it in your house and people go, oh my gosh, you got an arcade game in your house.
It's a vending
right?
machine.
It's a vending machine. It's just the cool factor of it. So it's got to be traditional. So there's supposedly about 15 pinball machines, 15 companies out, right? And, you know, obviously there's the big two, and then there's a couple nice 2 or 3 after that. And then everybody else is boutique, and we're considered a boutique, and which is fine. That's what, I want to be, I can be a Ford or I can be a Lamborghini. Lamborghini doesn't, make 5,000 SUVs a day. Right. And I'm not saying I'm a Lamborghini, but I'm saying is I'm a small shop.
Yeah.
So I want to produce quality in smaller amounts. And, I could sit here and say, oh, in 2-3 years, we're going to have 100,000 square foot warehouse and stuff. No, I doubt it. It's not going to happen.
Yes, the coin door is going to be centered.
I don't know why they keep bringing that up.
So, the machine is based off of a Williams wide body. So Williams are awesome machines, and just the this nostalgia factor of them, I just love them. So it's kind of about that. I like wide bodies. I can make a joke about wide bodies, and we won't go there.
Little in the middle, but she's got much back.
my wife kicked my ass.
A lot of guys like white bodies.
Oh, Thick is in right now. Thick is yeah.
So like I said, there's 15 companies out there. So I have no issue with that because I'm not producing 3, 4, 800 machines a week with 100,000 square foot warehouse. I'm producing small amount, and there's gonna be the demand for it. I'm not doing 5,000-10,000 run. I might be doing a few hundred run. So the demand will be there. And we're going to fill that demand for that small, right now for that small, I don't want to say niche market, but we're really kind of going for the home user. Somebody wants it in their house, and we think it's going to be a great family.
I don't know if we can say that one.
It's going to be a great family pinball machine. One of the interesting things about Elf when I brought it to shows is one of the biggest comments is women would say, "Oh, my husband can buy this machine," right?
Yeah.
How many guys out there want a pinball machine, but their wife won't let them buy them, right? I'm sure there's
because the wives are usually the ones with the common sense.
You make a nice machine, and they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, this would be great. The whole family would like it, right?" So
yeah,
I look at it like that. I'm a family man. I have 2 kids, and we have fun. So. What's that?
Now, I just want to say, just in case, I shared the link with PK and Rob. So what's up, Rob? And what's up, PK, if you guys are watching.
And they'll meet with you afterwards to discuss the virtual version coming to the At Games Legends 4KB in 2025.
I want everyone to experience Road Trip. I think it's going to... I want everyone to experience it. I think they would love it. Whether it's virtual or real, I just want everyone to experience it, and I think it's going to promote sales.
This is probably a terrible analogy, but I love virtual pinball because I think it's a lot like renting a videotape back in the day. You would rent the tape, or rent a game. You would rent a game, and then you would play it at home, and that's how you knew if you wanted to buy it or if you wanted to venture out and go find it in the arcades. Yeah. And honestly, virtual pinball is incredible. But it'll never, no matter how far you get, ever match the real thing. So it won't dilute that experience at all. You'll just get a taste of it, and then you'll want to go get more of a realistic taste either by playing it out in public or maybe picking up your own machine.
I think we all agree on that.
Yeah. VP, the virtuals are going to become more popular, especially with the younger crowd growing up. I don't know how old you guys are, but pinball in the 90s for me was at the bowling alley. That's my biggest memory of it.
Yeah.
And
it was special
when you're older and you can finally afford a pinball machine, you want one, and that's what's kind of blown the market up over the last few years. Is guys from that age have gone, but at the same time as you got these younger crowd which are coming from video games. I've got a kid that would rather play the virtual than play the real thing.
It's like having a Christmas tree 24/7 in your house. When you turn it on, you just look. Sometimes I just look out all the pretty lights. I don't play it. Do you? Like Mike?
Oh, I mainly I just have it there to look at a lot of times. I'm just
admire
it. You just look at it and you admire it. And you're like, I can't believe that's right there in my house. Even with my mini toy arcade and stuff like that, it's about the experience of going in and seeing all the original art and everything lit up. That's what makes me happy.
You transform into that room. It's like bring it a nostalgic room you created.
Yeah.
Yeah, pinball machines are almost like a piece of furniture or a work of art. You put them in there and you don't touch them that often, but they just sit there.
It's really expensive functional furniture.
Yeah.
I had a couple other technical questions. So one of the things that we're talking about art and display and stuff like that. Do you have the body designed yet and the art for the actual outside of the pinball machine done?
Oh yeah, that's all done, but we're not sharing it yet.
Who's your artist? Your artist is your wife, isn't it?
So we have 2 artists. Okay. So one of them, Holly, which is actually my daughter, and she actually is a art. Went to art school. Yep. She's a legit art person, art student, digital artist, whatever you want to call it. So she does a lot of it, and then Joe, he works on a lot of the. He works on a lot of it, and he does the majority. You call post processing, I guess. So he does a lot. He spends a lot of time just doing all the little teeny what I don't have patience for. Just looking everything over and getting everything just right.
He put a lot of Easter eggs in that art, which is very like comedy. Like he put like I don't know if you looked at the like when you all right. So go back if you can. Can you go back to the playfield?
Yep.
I don't know if you guys can notice any like Easter eggs. Let me know if you find any
we're
Easter
not going
eggs.
to point them out.
We're not going to point them out, but it's up to you to find them. We're not going to say where they are, whatever, but you can see the.
Yeah, we'll make it full screen here. Go ahead.
We love Easter eggs. We love nostalgia, and all this stuff. And so, Joe is like, huge into that, and we love that about Joe. And
I love Restalgia too. It's great that we can all share that. Guys.
You just passed one of them, which was mine.
Oh yeah, that was yours?
Yeah.
Oh, that was Joe's.
No, that was mine. That was great.
Yeah, there's another one coming.
Yeah, we're not gonna give them away.
You got to figure it out.
Now this is the version 2, or is this the version? No, this is definitely the version 2.
Version 2.
This is version 2.
We have the third version coming out.
We have a third one coming out, and like I said earlier, this playfield actually only has a single layer of clear, so it might look like it's scratched and stuff because we actually did play on this one here, so that's why you see a lot of swirls and stuff like that.
It looks really good, and that's one of the big things that I think I typically I'm concerned about when Tampa Tech, you reached out to me and you said you're making a pinball machine. I was like, my first thought was like, I'm curious to see what this thing is going to look like, because artwork is super subjective. Some people will love certain styles and others will hate it, and it's really tough to find something that just generally everybody thinks looks good. And honestly, I think what you've done here, for an original table and going with the theme that you're going for, the little cut up for the screen, which can kind of interact with everything that's going on. I think it actually looks pretty good, and I'm curious to see what the next revision is going to look like. So,
yeah, I appreciate that, Steve. It means a lot coming from like someone like you that what I mean. You're a good friend of mine, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and he really knows pinball. Like he's an expert.
I'm an expert, man.
Well, he has a virtual pinball machine behind him. I'm sure he plays it.
Oh, he's an influencer now for several pinball companies as well, with his vast knowledge.
Yeah. Are you?
That's not a joke.
Are you a Stern influencer? I'm not sure.
Yep, I'm working with Stern right now, so I've got the Venom pinball machine in the house. So I've had it. I've only had it for a few weeks, and I haven't had any time to play it. Like I've had maybe 3 games on the machine so far, just with everything going on with my day job. So
are they going to let you keep it?
What's that? No. It's a loaner. So I'm going to get this machine. I get to work with it for a bit. I get to do some content, and they're going to take it back. They're going to bring me another machine.
What?
Same sort of process. Another one. Then they're going to take it back, bring me another one. And
you never stay charged for that? Like that's $400 a month.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep. So they're definitely doing
you $100.
Only 100? Okay. Well, we'll talk. It's going to be a lot more than that to ship it to Canada.
Well, he's in Canada. That's a long drive.
So, yeah, it's going to be a long drive.
We're in Florida.
Canada. Hey, send me some of that maple for our playfields.
I got you covered. We got so much maple syrup, it's not even funny.
Yeah, Canadian maple.
They're all up north. I think Michael B is north in Canada, right?
Yeah, I'm on a little island called Newfoundland off the coast of Canada. So.
Oh, nice.
And Carl, I'm sure you can guess where Carl is based off of his name. Detroit.
Oh, the Lions. Oh, I was rooting for the Lions.
That was so sad.
Even though the Lions beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that's where we're from, Tampa Bay.
That close.
So even though the Lions beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I was really rooting for the Lions to make it to the Super Bowl.
Well, what you guys Bucs fans? You must have been dying. Like, what a fluke. Tom Brady's like, yeah, I'm just going to play 1 year here in Tampa Bay. I mean, they become the first team to win the Super Bowl at home, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So, that guy's the luckiest son of a bitch I ever met in my entire life. Is he? Like, everywhere he lived, there was a championship team that followed him. Like, he was from the San Francisco area, and then the 49ers were winning championships like crazy. And then he goes to Michigan State, and then the Detroit Red Wings, I think, were like, on fire, and they won a bunch of championships. And then he goes to Boston, right, that area, and then the Boston Celtics are awesome, and the Bruins are winning championships, and of course the Patriots. And then he comes down to here, and just championships follow him.
Oh yeah, and you guys almost
Florida,
wanted.
I'm in New Tampa.
New Tampa?
New Tampa. Someone's asking they were in Florida.
Yeah, so the
Oh,
bull,
okay.
like, do you guys watch hockey at all? We're Canadian, so we have
Yeah.
to talk about hockey. So
Yeah. So
the-
actually, we won the Stanley Cup same
Back to
year.
back.
We won the same year we won the Super Bowl. So,
Back to back too. So
Oh,
we
I
had
know.
a lot of sports going on here.
and Miami almost won the NBA championship that year too.
Well, that's 5 hours from us. So we
Yeah, so-
root for Tampa. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
But yeah, I
now
like
that
Miami too.
now that the Bolts have kind of fallen off, though,
Oh,
you've got the
yes.
Florida Panthers coming up, South Florida, and they're going to be in good position to win it all this year. So
Oh yeah,
a lot of championship
I
teams.
really want the Panthers to win their first championship. Of course, I'm rooting for the Lightning. I like the
Yeah.
New Jersey Devils. I like the New York Rangers. I like the Toronto Maple Leafs, even though they're rivals of the Lightning. I do like my favorite team is of course the Lightning because that's our home team. But I would love to see the Panthers win their first championship.
So, guys, this is Stock Jock. He says he's in Lutz. He'll be over shortly to play. Stock Jock, I don't know
That's
if you
actually
know.
right near us.
That's down
Yeah.
the street from us.
10 minutes away.
So you can probably pop over to his place because Stock Jock actually a little while ago won the Project Pinball raffle on the Jurassic Park 30th
Oh, I know
Premium
who he
Pinball.
is. Yeah. He won. Yeah, he won the. I know who he is.
Yeah.
Yep. And he won the flip flop.
What's the
Are
flip
you talking
flop?
at games or which one are you talking about?
Are you talking about the Chicago?
Stern?
From Chicago?
Stern
No.
Pinball?
Yeah, he won Project Pinball Charity. If you haven't never ever seen them before,
I know
especially
what
if
it
you.
is.
Yeah, so he won the Jurassic Park 30th anniversary drawing. They did it a little
Oh,
while
okay.
ago.
You won the 30th anniversary?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know the guy that won last year at Chicago that won a Bally flip flop. The
Okay.
year prior to that, I won a Williams Darling from their raffle in Chicago, and that's when I brought Elf up there in my Tahoe. So I had to literally take my back seats apart to cram that thing in the back to bring it home.
How old is
Yeah.
that one?
1973 or something. And it's sitting in my house, and yeah.
That thing makes a lot of noise. It's I think an EM.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's an EM. Yeah.
Oh my god, that thing makes a ton. It sounds like an old school cash register.
Electromechanicals are still fun to play, but if anything goes wrong with them, game over, man.
Don't
I
stick
don't
your
want
hand in
nothing to
there.
do
And
with it. Yeah.
rip it right off. You'll
Yeah.
shred your fingers.
I actually restored and have a 1957 bingo machine in my
Oh,
house.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
With bingo night.
Miss America, the 1957 Miss America.
We have bingo night every Friday.
And it's just there so you can open it up and it looks like some alien spaceship inside those things. It's crazy what's in them.
Guys, I have another question about your table before we go. So, pinball is so different than it used to be years ago, and coding is so important now. Who's going to be doing the coding for your table? That's going to be you, Bob?
Yeah. So I have a background in mechanical engineering and software engineering.
Yep.
My degree is in software engineering. I've done that for many years. I won't get into it, but I've done a lot of stuff for big companies. I've done a lot of multiple patents in software and stuff like that. So that's my bread and butter. So I am, excuse me, I am programming all the stuff, the lower level, the hardware, and all the mechanical stuff, everything that talks to the fast pinball boards. All the game engine stuff is being done by Josh, my son. He's also a programmer. That's what he does for a living. He had been writing video games since he was like 12 years old. So he's working on that. So it's a combination of the two. And so that's actually, I don't want to say it's the easy part, but that's, it's not a, I
For
don't
you
have to
guys,
learn
it's the
it.
easy part.
I don't have to learn it. I already
Yeah.
know it. I did Elf. When I did Elf, we used a framework called Mission Pinball Framework, which people might have heard of. It's very common. You don't have to write code for it. And Elf worked great in that. But Road Trip, it's all programmed. It's all, we're not using any framework like that. It's all in-house.
Carl, do you have any questions?
No.
Do you have anything you just randomly want to say?
Yeah, I want to say, yo, check it. This crew straight out of sunny Florida is about to drop their first pinball machine road trip. Picture this: cruising down a highway, hitting ramps, smashing targets, and racking up points like a boss. With fresh graphics, tight gameplay, and vibes for days, for days, road trip is going to be the ride of your life. So grab your crew, drop some quarters, and let's hit the road, pinball style.
Oh, I love it.
Well done.
Hey, next month we're gonna have another exclusive. If you guys want to do another show, and we can do another exclusive video, and we can show you more because we'll be further along in the project.
Yeah,
Oh,
that'd
we
be
will?
great.
No.
We're not gonna. Hopefully, we're not going backwards. We're going forwards.
Well,
I'll tell you what, we've shown you guys more than we've shown everybody else, so you've gotten a lot of exclusive
That's
stuff.
exclusive.
well, we appreciate it. We
The
appreciate it.
video we uploaded.
Oh.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I do have a question for you guys. One more question for you. So, you guys alluded to potentially taking part in a very big show at some point in the year. Sounds like closer to October. Don't know for sure, but that's what it sounded like. Assuming you do have a production unit that people can actually touch, feel, play, when do you guys anticipate, or when are you hoping to be able to actually start selling these things? Are you guys going to be doing a pre-order, or are you guys just
Right.
going to assemble them and just get ready to start selling right away? What's your plan? When are you hoping to have people to actually be able to take these things home?
Right. So that's a good question. And what we're trying to, we don't want to repeat what some previous companies have done, where they take deposits and then they leave, or they go out of business, something like that. We don't do
pre-order.
that.
No pre-order.
So at this, what we would like to do is, we would like to do where you want to buy a machine, you buy it, you pick it up, or we'll ship it to you. You don't have to give us the deposit and wait 6 months for it.
Mm-hmm.
Really don't want to do that. So when we show up to a show, we will have a few machines, and if somebody wants to go home with one, great. If not, then hopefully, if you want to buy one in a few months, give us a call. If we have one, we'll ship it.
I think they're gonna sell like hotcakes. I want to say hi, Jason. What's up, Jason? Thanks for the link. Yeah, but I personally think that they're gonna sell like hotcakes, and that's why I want the virtual table out there so everyone gets to enjoy the road trip.
So are these tables only going to be available in the U.S., or are you planning to bring them across North America? Do you have distribution in Canada yet?
So at this point, it depends on the distributors. We're working on a distributor, and they'd have to work out the logistics. Of course you have the UL and all those things you have to deal with, and it's different with Canada.
Oh yeah.
So we're not building anything specifically for other countries, but you know what, you can ship one over there.
So you guys are in Canada. Michael B, and then Steve is in Canada. So if you want one, we could send them to Carl's place in Detroit, and then you can drive there and pick that. How far is Detroit from you?
Steven's like an hour and a half.
It's a few hours. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
really?
just like
Really?
4 hours.
See,
For me-
that's a central hub. So all our machines, if you're in Canada, the Canadians, all our machines are going to Carl's house, Detroit. And if you're Canadian and you want to pick up your machine, you have to go pick it up from Carl.
Carl will have them all. And you know what? Canada's really small, so it's not like it matters. Carl's going to be central to
Carl, right?
everywhere.
You agree? Yeah. Carl agrees.
Yeah,
His wife may not, but Carl agrees.
I'm right next to Carl. I just got to take a 12-hour drive, 10-hour boat ride, another 24 hours driving, and I'll be right
It's
there.
still cheaper
Mike,
than
that
shipping.
just sounds like a lot of
Still
complaining,
shipping.
and like you're not willing to work
cheaper
hard
than
for what you
shipping.
want.
What was that, Carl?
I was telling Mike it's still cheaper than shipping. So
Yeah, it's
Make
true.
it drive,
That's the sad
It is true.
Yeah, it is cheaper in the shipping. What is a machine? A machine's $400 or $500 to ship. It's crazy.
Carl's the official TiltBob distributor.
Yeah. So, no, but if you are serious about ever coming to Canada, I think Restalgia, you might know a company, a distributor. You might have some kind of greasy connection.
I don't know if I do. I don't know if it's super greasy or not, but I can certainly give you guys a couple names that you guys can reach out to.
How do they ship you those, like the Venom? Like, was that like, did they drive it there to you?
Yeah. So the distributor that I'm
Stern
working
did?
with is Player One
Oh,
Amusements.
distributor did.
Yeah, so Player One Amusements, that's how Stern wanted to do it. It's cheaper for them to go to their distributors. The Player One Amusements is like 40 minutes from my house. So they connected me with Player One. I got to go and actually go to their showroom and kind of talk to them, meet them, and just chatted about kind of everything that they got going on.
You're a lucky guy.
He
nice,
is.
nice and central.
What about Michael B?
It costs $600 to get something shipped to me from the nearest distributor.
Oh, so yeah, you're kind of like SOL.
Yeah. Stern, I talked to Stern as well, and they were like, "Where do you live?" And I was like, "Newfoundland." And they were like, "Well, you can go fuck yourself."
It sounds like a Chicago person, what they would say.
They didn't actually really say that, but it was just like, I'm out in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Mike, I think that's a sign. That's a sign to move on over to
You got to move.
the mainland.
I want to move to the U.S. I'm moving to Florida. See you guys soon. I'm coming down. I'll help out.
Welcome down here anytime.
Let's see. It was kind of cold this past week. It got down to 60 degrees. So
70.
Yeah, we're
you gotta bring a
currently
jacket.
we're currently in the middle of a 3-day snowstorm with 100
It
centimeters.
snows
of
down
snow,
here, by the
so-
way. No, it snows down here. It snows pollen.
It snowed solid, yeah.
I'm dying. Dude, my car was completely layered in yellow pollen, and I could take my fingers and like the snow, and you can like write things on your windshield. I could do that with the pollen.
Yeah. So I think, guys, we're almost meeting that hour and 18-minute point. That's where we close the show down. I just want to say personally, thank you so much for coming on, talking to us tonight. You've given us a lot of insight into your machine. I mean, from the video I watched earlier, I can tell this is going to shoot great. I love the wireform ramps. I love everything you're putting into it. Very excited about that, but also hearing about the heart and soul that's going into this machine. And a couple people mentioned it in the chat.
And blood.
Pardon?
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood, sweat, and tears. But there's a real family element to this, like a mom and pop shop that people are going to want to support. And I just want to say congratulations, guys. This looks like it's going to be a winner. And hopefully we're going to be in Chicago. If your guys are there too, maybe we can test this thing out when it's finally ready in person.
Yeah, cross your fingers. Maybe we'll see you.
Yeah, Tampa Tech would be good to get a beer with you, man.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. I never got to hang out with you guys. I would love to hang out with you guys. You guys are such a down to earth, kind of like chill guys.
Most of us, not so much Mike, but the rest of us are.
I appreciate your humor too.
No, you don't want to go out with Restalgia because you're like, hey, what kind of cool things do you want to do? He's like, do you want to go to a claw arcade and get all these stuffies?
Yeah,
I'm missing P-Dubs though. I wish P-Dubs joined.
I know.
Well, he wanted to. He ended up having the previous commitments, so
He's got to go to ZapCon.
Yep. But no, thank you guys for coming on. Really great, and I'm really excited to kind of see where this goes. So keep the updates coming because I think this is going to be an interesting thing to watch. I think this will be
one
something
last
that
thing.
people
I
wanna
wanted to
bookmark.
hear from the chat who wants a digital format of Road Trip and who does it. Everyone.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
Everyone, I guess.
Yeah, you can put a 1 in the chat if you guys want to see a digital version of the table, so you guys can enjoy it at home in digital format.
A lot of AtGames fans here. I know you want this on your ALP. Drop that 1. Show them some love.
Can we
I think
show the
Paul-
gameplay footage one last time?
Yeah, I think Paul will do it. We got to convince TiltBob. TiltBob is the one we got to convince here, guys.
So I see Jay asked there if I was going to be if we were going to be in Frisco next week. Not with any games. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to have a backpack full of cool goodies. So if you see me, stop me, and I'll give you something. So
sounds good.
What about swag? Have you guys got swag coming out with the TiltBob
well,
logo and stuff?
I might have a backpack full of stuff for Texas next week. So, yep, I like giving stuff away.
Just so you know,
not pinball machines, but
No, God, no.
just so you guys,
strategy.
just so you know.
T-shirts, back rubs. I give those things away.
I've only seen 1 0 in the chat. Everyone else has overwhelmingly said yes, they want to see this in digital format. Now, no pressure, but something to consider. I already mentioned this. I'm excited to see where this goes. I've never played a pinball game with like a comedy theme ever. Like I've never seen that done before. So I'm actually super interested to see exactly where that goes and how the programming and the jokes and kind of how you guys are going to draw in that comedy element into the machine. So that'll be fun to check out too.
Great, appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having us, and then hopefully we'll see you guys again on the show, and maybe in a month or two.
That sounds good.
That is
with more
awesome.
footage.
All right. Well, Carl,
All right,
I think we throw this over to you, buddy.
Before we go, I want to share some desk shit in the theme of pinball. Came across this pretty interesting thing here. This is a
I've seen that.
puzzle that you can actually build because everyone doesn't
Yeah,
have
those.
TiltBob skills to be able
I would love
to
that.
make their own pinball.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
But with the magic of
Maybe next year.
Amazon and all these,
That'd be cool.
this 3D puzzle, you can actually assemble this thing. Probably take you about 20 hours to build it.
I always wanted to build one out of Legos.
This is cool though.
Yeah, so I thought this was
that
pretty
is actually
cool.
pretty
If you
interesting.
want to have something cool on your desk, we dropped the link in the
If I'm
chat.
not mistaken, Carl, our buddy Tech Buzz actually already did a review of this.
Oh,
Yeah.
did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you think? How do you think they get those
how it works.
LEDs to kind of go with the ball? How do you think? That
I don't
happens?
think they're real.
Oh, come on, Mike! Don't just use
they're
your
the
imagination.
pop-up features like in Zen Pinball FX.
I gotcha. I
Yeah.
gotcha. The ball trails.
Yeah.
All right, well, I thought this
Snail
was pretty
trails.
cool and wanted to share it on the theme of tonight with pinball. And again, for the people who lack the skills, lack the resources, that's an alternative to for us people who don't have these skills. But guys, we appreciate you guys watching. As always, we thank you, we love you, and we look forward to seeing you next time. On the
Great, thank you.
Peace.
Thank you.